Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk about the Global Talent Visa. That's specifically for the tech route, which is endorsed by Technation. I moved to the UK, London specifically, about 5 months ago now, and I moved using the Global Talent Visa. So in this video, I'm going to teach you or tell you everything that I know about the Global Talent Visa Technation route and how you, if you work in tech, whatever you do in tech, whether you're a developer, you're a marketer, you're a copywriter, you are a cybersecurity person, you are whatever you do, as long as you work in tech and you want to jackpot, then please watch this video because hey, you could be like me and be chilling in London in like 3 months. Hey guys, thank you for staying to watch this video. My name is Timi, and I'm really passionate about growing people, growing businesses. It's not just a thing I say in every video, it's a thing that really matters to me and basically my life's mission. Now my goal is that anybody who comes across me or watches my video is inspired or motivated to get better in their life, in their career, in their business. As you watch this video and you learn how to jackpot with your tech career, make sure that you also support me and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Also, there's a bell button there. Click on it, and every time I release a new video, right, you'll be one of the first to know about it. In this channel, there's everything from entrepreneurship to life. Now there'll be UK stories and marketing stories and life, just like awesome stuff. So anyway, let's get right into the video. Okay, so first thing first, right, what is the Global Talent Visa? It's called the Technation Visa, but officially it's the Global Talent Visa, and it's basically for the brightest and most extraordinary talent across the world to move to the UK. Now, the UK government are looking for exceptional talent. They call them exceptional talent who have tech careers, either as entrepreneurs or as professionals, so as employees, and they want to move to the UK. And moving to the UK means you can move to London, you can move to England, you can move to the Wales, you can move to Scotland, you can move to basically anywhere in the UK, right? With Global Talent Visa, there are lots of different bodies that have to endorse you depending on what category you fall in. If you're in tech, then the Technation body has to endorse you as an exceptional tech talent. If you're in arts, if you're in media, whatever other category you are, there are different endorsing bodies. Now, I'm not in media or art or any of those things. My career is in tech, so I got the endorsement for Technation. So everything I'm going to say is specific for people that want the Technation Visa for Global Talent Visa. Now, before I go into like all the requirements, what are the benefits of the Global Talent Visa? Now, the first benefit is that it gives you a direct path to like indefinite settlement and citizenship, depending on how long you've spent in your career. If you spend less than 5 years, then you get the route that's called exceptional promise, right? And so exceptional promise, they can give you up to a 5-year visa. Now, after that 5-year visa, you can then apply and get indefinite leave to remain, which is like permanent residency, which means that you don't need to apply for visas again or new visas again. You are just like settled in the UK. And then after that, after like 12 months or more, you can then get like a British passport. But then there's also the route of exceptional talent, right? So exceptional talent, they give you a 3-year maximum visa. Difference. Exceptional promise, you get a 5-year visa. Exceptional talent, you get a 3-year visa, and that 3-year visa leads you to indefinite leave to remain. Now, the key difference is that for exceptional talent, you have you spend like maximum of 5 years in your career, right? So like 1 to like 4.9 years in tech. But with exceptional talent, it means that you spend more than 5 years. So people who are in the later stages of their career would typically apply for a Global Talent Visa, and then you get a 3 years visa, and after 3 years, you get ILR. But if you're still young in your career, right, or you've spent like 10 years, but your tech career itself is still very nascent, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, then you can get the exceptional talent visa. So key thing is, 1, it's a direct route to like indefinite settlement and then citizenship. 2, it gives you the flexibility to kind of like do anything, and I think it's my favorite part. With the Global Talent Visa, you can study, you can work remotely for companies outside of the UK, you can work for companies in the UK without them needing to sponsor you again. You can start your own business, you can be a freelancer, you can basically do anything, right? So like it's probably one of the most flexible visas that the UK gives because it just covers everything that you need without needing extra sponsorship. So if you move to the UK, for instance, with a Global Talent Visa and you want to get a job in any company, they won't need to sponsor you again because you already have a visa for as long as for the duration that you got your visa for, right? Which is really good. It also gives you flexibility to leave the UK and come back anytime during your visa. The only requirement is that you're in the UK for at least 6 months before every year, 6 months in every 12 months for you to be able to apply for ILR. Now, what that means basically is, so for instance, I have the exceptional promise visa of 5 years. It means that for the 5 years that I'm holding this visa, I can be in the UK I have to be in the UK at least 6 months every 12 months duration if I want to get my ILRO immediately. My 5 years actually elapses, right? But you can always travel in and out and go whatever and do whatever you want to do, right? But one of the things that you have to know is that you have to always work, right? During the duration of a visa, you have to work in the field that you got the visa for. So for instance, my field is digital marketing. So whatever I do in the UK during my 5-year visa has to be around digital marketing or growth or performance marketing or whatever. And specifically still has to be in tech so I can get my ILR. Another benefit is that you can move with your family. So if you're married, for instance, and you get the global talent visa, you can move with your spouse, you can move with your kids, right? So it allows you to actually move with your dependents. Another thing is that it's not restricted to any specific industry, right? So you can work in fintech, in HRO tech, in ed tech, in charity tech, in rec tech, as long as it's tech, right? You can get the global talent visa. As long as you don't also have to be a founder. You also don't have to be a software engineer. So, right, like I said earlier, copywriters, marketers, PRO people, as long as you've worked in tech, basically in any industry, fintech, cybersecurity, whatever, you can actually get it. There's also no limit on the amount of visas available. So Technation, or at least the UK government says that there's no specific quota. So it's not as if they're like, oh, we are giving only 100 visas a year, so you have to hurry and very competitive and blah, 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 blah. There's actually no quota, and they're taking applications from people from like basically all over the world. So those are like the key benefits, and those are the benefits that was interesting for me, right? Direct path to settlement. I can move with family if I wanted, if I had dependents. I can work, I can do freelance, I can school, I can start my own business. It's very flexible without needing extra stuff. Anyway, now the next part of it is what are the actual requirements, right? So if you go on technation.io/visa, that's where you can read all about it. You will see like lots of eligibility criteria and all the things you need to do in your application. So the way it works is that you have to get an endorsement from Technation first, right? So remember I said that the global talent visa is a thing, but like depending on your field, media, art, tech, there are different endorsing bodies. So if you're going with tech, you have to get an endorsement from Technation first. When you get the endorsement letter, then you don't use that to go to the home office and apply for the actual visa that is stamped in your passport, right? So the biggest part is, or the main or the hardest part is just getting the Technation endorsement. I'm going to talk about all the things that are required in your application and also the cost. So first of all, let's talk about the things that are required. Now, to apply for a Technation visa, the major requirement is that you have to work in tech, in a product-led company specifically, right? Not just like in tech, but like they don't count consulting, they don't count agency work, they count people that have worked in product-led companies, like actual tech startups, right? Regardless of whether it's a B2B or a B2C, a service, whatever, like it just has to be product-driven, product-led startup, not agency, not consulting background. So even if you're a software engineer, but your work has been in an agency or in like big 4 consulting companies, it actually would not work. So first thing is product-led startup. So if you are at a place where you're like, oh, I want to jackpot with this route, but then I haven't worked in product-led companies yet, then basically just start backtracking and do applications and find a way to work for tech startups, and in 6 months or a year, you can then apply for this. So yeah, basically, it has to be product-led company, right? Another thing is you have to be able to prove your impact, right? So Technation is not just looking for people who have said they work, but they're going to make you in the application, in the evidences, show that you've done actual work and you've impacted. So they have 2 broad categories, right? Remember earlier I mentioned that 2 categories of visa is exceptional talent, 3-year visa, direct straight to ILRO, but for people that have 5 years plus years of experience in tech. Then exceptional promise, 5 years visa, then straight path to ILRO, but for people who have 5 years below. Now, but then regardless of whether you're a talent or you're a promise or you're applying for talent or promise, there are now 2 separate fields that you can actually apply as a business person or as a technical person. Technical people are for people that are programmers, designers, cybersecurity, that have like hardcore tech skills. Those are like the technical criteria for them. And in business, as for everybody else who is not like a software engineer, a product designer, a data scientist. So if you're in marketing, you're in sales, you're in strategy, you're in operations, you're in HRO, but in tech, then you apply as under the business field. Now, whether you're in business field or in technical field, you have to prove your impact. And then there are 2 criteria that I'm just going to read for you guys. It's called the mandatory criteria and optional criteria. Now, for the mandatory criteria, you have to show that you are recognized as a leading talent or as a potential leading talent in the digital technology field sector. Digital technology equals tech company equals project-led company, right? Business or technical, right? Now, when you're doing your evidences, there are two set of evidences that you would submit, right? The mandatory evidence and the optional one. The optional has 4 different options. The mandatory has 1. Now, mandatory is really simple. So you have to prove that you are recognized. Let me read it here, guys. You have to show that you have been recognized as a leading talent, or that you have potential to be a leading talent, promise, in a digital technology sector. Digital technology sector equals tech startup equals product-led startup. Now, what does being recognized means? It just shows that, hey, people know you and they basically recognize you or give you the accolades that, hey, you're a leading person. And evidences, example of evidence you can show is things of you speaking in high impact conferences or speaking at events that, like the organizers are like really big companies or big people, that you have high salary or you have equity or stock options in the company, they're paying you above what they usually pay other people, that you have some awards, or that you've taken your company from like 0 to 10x literally, or that you've been published in newspapers. Anything that just shows a lot of recognition, that's mandatory criteria. So for the optional criteria, right, there are 4 major things that you can choose. So you have to choose 2 out of 4. Now, the first one is proof of innovation, right? So prove that you've done something that wasn't done before in your company, either as a business talent or a technical talent. The other one is proof of work beyond your day-to-day. So they want to see that you've done stuff outside what you're paid for that is leading to the advancement of your field, right? Or you can show proof of significant technical or commercial contribution, impact-wise, in your company, or that you have demonstrated exceptional ability in the academic sector. So maybe you've written a research paper, or you've done a PhD or something. So proof of innovation is like, oh, I was working in this company and they didn't have this kind of product before, and I innovated. Innovation just means I wasn't there before and I did it. Proof of advancement is like, oh, I was mentoring, right? So outside of work, I mentor people, I speak at events, I do this, I do that, I create videos that have like high views, that basically just teaches people how to like be a copywriter or a branding strategist, etc. Proof of commercial or technical impact is not like, oh, I ran ads and I took my company from 0 transaction volume to 12 million transaction volume in a year, and you actually can show that you did this. So that's proof of work, like the impact of the work, not innovation. Innovation is kind of like the idea. Impact is like the result of it, right? Then, of course, advancement of the field. And the last one is academic excellence. So whether you've written research papers, you've published books, you've done PhD or something in the academic sector. For optional criteria, you have to pick only 2 out of these 4 listed, right? So it's like, for instance, I did first one, recognition, right? That's mandatory. Showed how I was recognized. I've spoken at different events. I have high salary, blah, 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 blah. I did proof of work that's outside of my day-to-day work that shows the advancements of my field. So mentoring that I've done, speaking events, sort of like that. And then I did proof of significant contribution that shows like actual impact of the work in terms of marketing and dashboard. Now, how do you prove these evidences? It's basically like doing like presentations. I basically did all of them in Microsoft documents, right? Maximum of 3 pages. Now, every single document that you submit for your application has to be a maximum of 3 pages, A4. Like every single document, from your resume to your recommendation letters to your evidences, every piece of document. Now, so I did that, right? And then your evidence has to be a maximum of 10 documents. So I have 3 criteria to prove. 1 mandatory, 2 optional, right? For these 3, the maximum amount of documents I can submit is 10. However, each of those 10 can be a maximum of 3 pages each. So not 30 documents, but like 10 documents with maximum 3 pages each. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, you can rewind the video and watch it again if you're not sure. Okay, so basically, so I was saying that your evidences, mine was like a Microsoft document, maximum 3 pages. I showed dashboards, screenshot of conversations, screenshot of like events, pictures, and then explanations beneath every picture, just to make sure that, okay, this is my dashboard, this is what I did, this is the result, this is proof of the result. And I also added like supporting letters from people I've worked with to say, oh yes, this document that she's showing here, this evidence, she actually did that and it's signed, right? So those are the evidences. Another thing that you will need is reference letters. You will need 3 reference letters, right? Or 3 recommendations letters. Now, the thing with this recommendation letter is that each of your recommendation letter has to be from C-level executives of tech startups. I can't go to the government and say my father or my uncle is a commissioner and then he should write me a recommendation letter. He's not a tech guy. So you have to find C-level, a CFO, a CEO, a CTO, a CMO, a CSO, as long as they achieve something in a tech. Tech, again, is digital technology sector equals product-led company, right? To be your reference letters. VCs also count in that. And then there also has to be a maximum of 3 pages per recommendation letter. And then the last piece of document, or rather last thing that you also need, is a personal statement. Your personal statement has to be maximum 1,000 words, right? Maximum 1,000 words. A personal statement is simply you know what cover letters are? This is me, this is what I've done, this is why I want to move to the UK, this is what the UK will do for me, this is how I also expect to contribute to the UK economy, right? So basically, everything that has to do with why you're moving. And your personal statement should tie all of your evidences, your resume, your recommendations letter together, right? That was a tip that an alumni gave me. I said, hey, Peace, all the documents that you submitted, your evidences, everything that is in your resume, everything that is in your reference letter, tie all of that in your personal statement. So when they read your personal statement first, and they begin to see the different evidence, it kind of like tells that story you're trying to tell. And of course, I mentioned this already, you have to have your resume. And your resume too must be 3 pages. So your resume, maximum 3 pages. Each of your reference letters, maximum 3 pages. Each 10 evidences, or each evidence says maximum 3 pages. Personal statement, 1,000 words. So you take all your evidences, submit on Technation website. However, you have to pay a fee, right? And the fee is £456. It's not a lot. It's not refundable. It's not as if they don't accept the application, then you give your money back. But it's £456. You pay that on the UK government site. They give you a reference code, and you take it to the Technation dashboard itself, put your reference codes, and then submit your applications. The application will typically take about 3 weeks for them to get back to you, especially if you're outside of the UK. Now, what happens when they get back to you? They're going to give you 2 answers, either of 2 answers. They will either give you a yes, which is hey, we saw your application, and Technation has said that you are an exceptional promise or exceptional talent, and blah, 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 go to stage 2. Or no, Technation said that because of this, they will actually tell you all the reasons why they think you didn't qualify as a promise or a talent, and that means you're not getting an endorsement letter. Now, one of the things to mention here is that Technation say that they reserve the right to either give you a talent or a promise. So for instance, you can apply for an exceptional promise visa, and they'll be like, oh, we saw that you applied for promise, but we think that you're a talent, and give you a talent, right? Or you can apply for a talent and they'll be like, no, we don't think you meet the criteria for talent, and give you a promise. I've seen people that happened to. They applied for talent, but then they gave them promise. Or they applied for promise and they gave them talent. Or you apply for promise and they give you promise, or talent and they give you talent. They shall reserve the right. Now, if they accept your application and they give you an endorsement, the next thing is for you to go to basically apply for your visa. As in Nigeria, what you need to apply for your visa is the endorsement letter and a tuberculosis certificate. Lagos or Abuja is where you can do tuberculosis test. Take those 2 things, take your passport, take it to the embassy. Your visa fare is like £152, and wait for another 3 weeks and they will give you the visa. If they then do not give you endorsement letter, remember I said that they will give you like a pro forma that says, okay, these are all the reasons why we think you did not qualify. However, there's an additional step for people who do not get the endorsement initially. They give you the ability to appeal, right? So if they say, oh, you didn't qualify, and they'll give you all the reasons, now you have about 21 days, another 3 weeks, for you to send them another email. Like, you basically, they'll give you a form to fill, right, where you can actually, where you can actually contest their results or their answer. So if they say that you didn't qualify because of A, B, C, you can then write in the form that, oh, but my application or my evidences show that I made this, and your website said all of this. All right, so you can actually appeal and contest their decision. And then they can either change their mind. If they change their mind, also you get the endorsement letter. Again, take your endorsement letter, take your tuberculosis certificate, go to the UK embassy, pay £152 and apply for your visa. Or if after that appeal, they still don't give you endorsement, then you can apply again. Now they say there's no amount of time, there's no limit to the amount of times you can apply. Every time it just means you spend that £456. But I mean, I guess the idea is you can do the first application. If you don't get it, appeal. If you still don't get it, those are two, every time they give you a rejection, they'll tell you why. Now, if you appeal and they still reject you, it means that you have 2 pieces of feedback, all right, or 2 feedbacks that you can actually use to do your application again. Give yourself maybe like another couple of weeks, 3 months, 6 months, work on yourself, work on their feedback, and then apply again, and that's really easy. Anyway, in another video, I'll tell you everything after you get the endorsement and visa about settling down in the UK. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can actually reach out to me if you need help with your Technation Visa. I'm willing to help. My new mission in life, or my new submission in life, is to help Nigerians to jackpot. So if you work in tech and you want to, just check the link in the description below, and I'll tell you everything you need to know and basically help you with your applications. Anyway, see you in another video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel before leaving. Thanks. Peace out.